knowing when to actually include vacancy and when not to?
If you're going to own it, include it for sure. If you're going to wholesale it and it's a small, like single family.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Creative Financing Podcast. I'm Nicole Kamanjian. I'm here with Cody Richard and the host of this show, Jeff Rappaport. This is episode 265, and today we're doing part 3 of how to write multiple offers. Before we get started, I wanted to mention some of our resources. If you're looking for a mentor, visit roimentors.com to learn more about Jeff's apprentice program and the Creative Financing Academy. For networking and questions, make sure you join the Creative Financing Podcast community in Facebook. The second Thursday of every month, don't miss Jeff's free creative financing class on Zoom. If you're local to the Salt Lake area, we host an in-person meetup at Club 90 in Sandy, Utah. Details in the description below.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. All right. So we're back working on our third episode of how to write multiple offers. And if you've been with us the last 2 episodes, we did some, hey, what do you do to try to figure out how to get all the best information so that you have some direction on where to write the offers. And then we just started with, we went over an example, a free and clear duplex, 3-bed, 2-bath each unit, rents for $1,500, could be more like $1,700, $1,800, and needs a little bit of work, somewhere between let's say $15,000, $20,000, cosmetic stuff. So Nicole and Cody are going to continue on. We came up with a cash offer of $78,300. We also came up with a short-term finance offer of around $85,500, down payment $8,000, 3% interest over 30 years, $326, 12-month term, enough time to just do whatever cosmetic work and hopefully be able to refinance, kind of like a Burr strategy, and pull your money back out. Balloon payment of $75,881. Okay, so now we're going to start working on our 2 more longer term finance offers. And this is kind of wide open, right? She didn't really have a price. The seller really didn't know what kind of price she wanted for the property. She thought the property was worth 130, 135 if it were in excellent condition. And she's the one that said, hey, it probably needs 15, 20 grand in work. So how do we go about structuring something here that would make sense? Where do we start, Nicole? What do we do? Or Cody, for that.
Yeah.
For me, I'd be interested to see if I could do something pretty close to what she's wanting on the ARV or what her asking price. So I'd probably come in around 125 on the first one, take into account repairs, and then there. Can I make it happen at pretty much her asking price?
Okay. So,
I can't see your screen if you are trying to share.
No, what happened? Oh, we had that snafu before. My bad.
So purchase price at 125.
Yep.
Yeah, because I want to see, and this could be adjusted. We'll see as we go, but I want to see if the numbers will make sense. What we're doing.
That's a perfect. I just love what you just said there. We have to just pick some place to start, right? Where we start may not be where we end, but we have to start somewhere. So we're trying to gauge what we can do with this. So great, let's go from there. What else now? Nicole, help me out here.
Okay, I'll let Nicole pick our down payment. What are you thinking?
Hold on, let me calculate this really quick. So 125. I don't know. Maybe 10,000.
Okay. Try out a 10,000 down payment. So that'd put us at the present value of 115,000.
Yep.
So we know rents right now, 1,500. We know they could be 1,700.
Yep.
I'm going to operate on that 1,500 rent because I want to make sure once we get this closed, it's making money now.
Yep.
All that pro forma is icing on the cake. If we can get that, perfect.
Yep.
So with the 115 present value, I'm going to play with some numbers.
Okay. So
Nicole, pick an interest rate. We'll see where the payment lands based on this interest rate.
So if our short term is 3%, let's start with 4, I guess, to make it a little different.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. So 4% interest amortized over 30 years. 549 is what I got on the payment for that. 549 and some change. So 4, I even go further with that. I kind of want to make some estimates on what our other monthly expenses are going to be. Because sure, if it's bringing in 1,500 in income and we're only paying 549, that could be good. But you got to pay taxes on top of that.
My guess is when your payment is about a third of what the gross rents are, then you're more than likely really fine. But by all means, Cody.
Are you okay if we go through the expenses real quick,
Yeah,
just for the sake of
absolutely.
example?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So the taxes, based on what you said, are about 156 a month. Insurance, I'd put about, let's say 75, maybe a little lower, but I think that's a fair estimate.
75 total?
Repairs and maintenance for the month, yeah.
Okay.
And then repairs and maintenance, I'd also look at, I'm going to say about 10% of our monthly payment. So that'd be 150,
10%,
especially since it needs some cosmetic work and
10% of our
the
gross
monthly
rents.
income.
Okay, gross rents. Okay.
Yeah.
150, okay. Which would probably be less.
And then you mentioned
after doing the work, right? So
yep, exactly.
Okay.
And then the last one I take into account is utilities. You said meters are separate, but water, sewer, garbage is probably going to be covered by us. For a duplex, I would say 125, 150 a month. What do you think, Jeff?
I would put it at 150.
150. Okay, so just for those expenses, not including
No management.
the monthly payment. Yep, correct. I'm keeping that out since it's just a duplex. I figure a landlord could do it themselves.
So what is
easily.
it? 531.
531.
Yep.
Okay, so we add in our payment of 549, and our story's a little bit different now. So now our monthly net's going to be 420 once we put all those together.
Plus 549.
Right, Nicole, is that
debt service?
Yeah. What about what about vacancy?
I am not too concerned about it. You definitely can take it into account, but what I usually do is go higher on those other expenses, like the repairs and maintenance and insurance and stuff like that.
So
what would you think, Jeff? 10% vacancy?
On a duplex? No. I'd probably be more like you. If I even include a vacancy. First of all, let's talk about something, because if I'm wholesaling this, I'm totally fine with your expenses, right? Because someone could absolutely manage this themselves, maybe even semi-virtually, right? It's just 2 units. It's not that difficult. The utilities are mostly split, and so I don't need to include everything. But if I was going to buy it, I'm including everything, right? Whether I manage it or not, I want that in there. Capital expense or reserves doesn't usually come into play for a duplex, but things still wear out, right? You still have to replace a roof at some point. You got to replace the furnace, the air, the windows, whatever, right? So I'm going to put something like that in there. But if I'm wholesaling this, I'm totally fine with this. And I probably wouldn't include a vacancy. And if I did, it would be small, 3-4%.
I always, I think I struggle with that part, with knowing when to actually include vacancy and when not to.
If you're going to own it, include it for sure. If you're going to wholesale it, and it's a small, like single family duplex, I'm not worried about it. If it's like triplex or fourplex, I'm going to add it in. Anything commercial, I'm going to add it in. Okay, there you go. So we have 1,500 minus about 1,080. Those expenses kind of added up in a hurry, even without management, right? This doesn't really work that well with the management.
Yeah. And the last thing I'd look at here before deciding whether or not I want to change the payment is what the cash on cash is going to be. So right now, down payment, we have at 10,000. I want to make some money on this if I'm wholesaling it. So let's say I want to sell it for a 20,000 wholesale fee. Maybe a little bit too high, but that's where I want to start.
Yep. Are you adding in the repairs?
And then
no repairs. Okay.
I'm not going to do any repairs. No,
but
or I guess,
but the buyer might.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I would add in the repairs. Sorry for the cash on cash.
How much?
So I put 10,000.
Okay.
So I went conservative there, or aggressive there.
So we're in 40K, right? They're in to 40K out of pocket, and we have 420 a month cash flow, right?
Yep.
So
about 5,040 for the year.
Yep, divided by 40. 12.6. That could work.
So not horrible, but could be better. Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, there's some upside here. So if they can take their units or their rents and increase it by $300, that changes things quite a bit. Now all of a sudden it's $700 a month cash flow and $8,400 for the year. 8,400 second year.
About
For
21% cash on cash, right about
yeah,
there.
right. Not too bad. So
Makes it a great deal.
yeah. So I think that's doable. But what did this just tell us? And you kind of did it later than I normally do. What is that you figured out this NOI, right? We took all the expenses, and I know you had to guess, right? This repair cost is probably high. It's probably not going to run you $150 a month, especially if someone, I'd rather see you up this repair cost to 15, which hopefully is, pretty close, and lower this to, let's say, 75, maybe 100. And because hopefully that there's nothing major wrong, and we're going to take care of whatever minor issues there are. So yeah, $100 a month is $1,200 for the year. That might not cover, if they're doing landscaping or snow removal or pest control or something like that. And certainly paying the water, sewer, garbage alone, I mean, we're already estimating $150 of expense. Just one more question would have answered this. And so we know exactly what we're dealing with, right? So but to me, I think this is pretty fair. What could we change? Well, first of all, how long of a term are we doing?
Nicole, your choice.
I would do a 7-year on that one.
And why?
Or is this our
I don't know.
Option 4? What option are we on?
It doesn't matter. The option 4 is cash. Option 3 is short term. This is going to be option 1 or 2. So
so short term cash. This one could be, aren't we writing one more offer?
Yeah. But I don't know if this is the long term one or the short term one. I don't know yet. I don't know if you know yet.
Well, I don't know either.
All right. Well, it's time to start figuring that out.
Yeah, I have an idea. I think I would keep this, just like you said, I'd keep it at 84 months because there's another one where I'd want to go longer, get a better interest rate for myself, maybe pay a little bit more and see if I can get the payment down slightly. Because I want a little bit more cash flow. That's where my head's at right now.
Can we see what the balloon is?
Yeah. I have it at 98,968 and some change.
98,000. Yep. So if we think that this property is worth at least 135, right? That puts us under 80%, probably closer to 75%. And if it's really more, if it's worth more like what we may think, like 150, we're fine, right?
Yep, exactly.
Now, the only other thing that I might look at is this is a 7-year, so I'm probably not even going to worry about it. 7 years is probably long enough to be out of whatever cycle that we're in right now into something else. Hopefully better. And when I say better, lower interest rates. But who knows? It might not be. Even 90, let's call it 99,000 at 7.5%. is 692 in 7 years. If our payment goes up $150, I would expect that so will the rents. So
yeah,
I think we would be just fine.
And the only other thing I'd look at before moving on is potentially other exit strategies. I think it'd work for other stuff if I was going to keep it for myself. Hey, the numbers are great. I don't have to worry about the wholesale fee. Cash on cash is even better.
Right.
If I want to sell to an owner occupant, okay, that down payment may be slightly higher to sell to an owner occupant if I want a lot up front.
Yep. Yeah, there
So
are some
those are
other
something to
exits.
consider.
Yeah, there are other
Mhm.
exits. And this down payment's pretty low. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, it's not even 10%. That she might be okay with it. The impression that I got from the notes is that she doesn't need the money. She needs to be done dealing with tenants and dealing with siblings on this deal. She is truly a burned out landlord. All
So
right.
does she have to pay like her siblings,
I
or
don't know. She hasn't mentioned it.
well, that might make a
And
difference on the down payment.
she claims she is the decision maker. So I'm not sure how it's all structured, but I guess we'll find out. Anything else you want to add? Any other questions? And we'll wrap this episode up. We'll do one more on this example and get to our 4 offers. Actually, we'll have 4 offers, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all good on this option.
Perfect. Okay. I liked how that came together. All right. So stay tuned. Next episode will be a great one. Go out and create some terms.